Hi everybody, this is Justin Patterson from Drexel University, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how my thesis progress has changed. So, last time I talked to everyone, I said I was interested in making an adaptive game that adapts on behalf of learning style and performance. I didn't, however, have an example game. So that's what I'm spending this term to work toward, is making a game that changes based on interpretation of users and also has a relatively elegant way of handling those adaptations within the system in a way that matches the gameplay. So the first thing I talked about is adaptive games. There hasn't been much research on how to adapt games in real time in any meaningful way in terms of learning styles. However, there was versions of it that adapted based on personality and learning inventories taken before the game was actually played, so that students could learn about the physiology of trees and the leaves that grow on them based on tests that they took beforehand to learn about whether or not the user enjoyed linear learning progression, so the first subject or the first tree, and then the second tree and the third tree, or the other way is to have a global perspective. And that means that they can look at any different tree or leaf or subject, whatever you want to label it, at any given time, and kind of work their way to mastery in any of them as they see fit. So with that said, I'm trying to create a system that allows players to do something similar, but in real time instead of taking an inventory beforehand. The context of the game is going to be a birding or a bird watching game where the students can explore a forest much like they would if they were actually birding, have binoculars, take pictures, and use a field guide. And all of this is meant to teach about the taxonomy and physiology of different types of birds. And with that said, I'll jump in and show what I have developed so far. This doesn't have any adaptation on behalf of whether or not they're global or sequential thinkers, because that's going to come later in the term. I'm currently trying to prove that I can make a system work in the same way that it does. Please excuse any frame lag that you see while I'm playing. That's caused by the screen capturing software. So right now I have it set up that there's these two, that's going to be where the pictures are going to go, like a photo album. These are the two birds that I'm having tested. One is a eastern bluebird, and the other one is I believe it was a thrush bird of some sort. I have the ability to move in and out of binocular view. I also have the ability to view my field guide, page by page, which is a GUI texture, so keep in mind all the textures are tests. And I can turn pages like so. And eventually I'll be able to jump between different pages through a tabbing system. And lastly, and perhaps most interestingly, I've developed a way of taking pictures of these animals, much like in Pokemon Snap. So I can snap a shot of him and snap a shot of him, and each of them, when the picture is snapped, that picture is recorded into an array, and each item in that array has a certain identification. So it knows what type of bird that is and what distance it was taken at, as well as the amount of lighting in the current shot that it has. It records all of that and then passes it to a variable which I have this representing. And it could be really anywhere I want. For instance, if I go to my menu, you'll see in the top left corner, that was my bird, please excuse him. In the top left corner, you see that one of the pictures I took is here, and I'm actually setting it up so that you can kind of view all the photos without having to turn around and look at these giant planes. So it'll be like almost like a photo album that you can switch between looking at the photo album and at the field guide, so you can identify what birds you've taken pictures of. There's also going to be a scientist type character that I haven't worked with yet, who's going to be the personification of the AI. So you walk up to him and you tell him what you took pictures of, and he says if you're correct or not. That's what I've been working on so far. I just wanted to show a proof of concept for this game, and this was in about a week of development. I'm Justin Patterson from Drexel University. Thanks so much for listening.